Gilda Carle. Dr. Gilda, before we get started, because I always say the same thing, it's like I look back 15 years ago, and when I would just jump on a mic, I would be so excited. But after you do so many shows, you kind of go through the motion. But I know that you and I are going to have a fun play of words again today. So, what is our topic today?
How old do you think Vanna White is?
Oh my gosh. I'll go with 57.
She's 68. She has been involved with her boyfriend since 2012. They just got married.
How old is he?
I don't know. I don't know that. Wait a minute. They've been together nearly 13 years.
Okay.
And well, he has gray hair. That's all I know. Maybe it didn't, they just talked about her and her age. Um, but here's the thing. After a certain age, do you need to get married? Are you having children? Do you need to get married? That's a question every single couple in that age group talks to me about. Why get married? Why give away what the government says you have to give away? Instead of if the relationship breaks up, you can just part, walk your separate ways, and that's the end of it.
Ah,
So,
I think it's the traditional values of marriage, even if they don't believe in God, right? And I think that ultimately it feels like it's more of a less likely of a breakup, a marriage versus just part separate ways, Dr. Gilda.
but you have a good point because if you are married, you will be less interested in saying, "Okay, that's the end of this. I've had enough. I'm leaving." Instead, you might want to say, "Look, let's get together and talk about this. Let's have some communication about it." But they didn't. They waited 13 years. She has a grown son, and he probably has children of his own. Why did they even bother, except, as you just mentioned, love of tradition and family and God and all of the traditional values that certain people do not like the woke crowd does not like any of that. But these people are saying, look, she has enough money, probably. She's done well financially. I don't know.
Maybe he's done well financially, and maybe he's
Maybe he
finally
has
out of the
a
alimony deal. There could be other
maybe,
things or
maybe,
child support.
maybe at this point he's out of the child support and he could give his all. But do you think, as a man, do you think that well, men, well, you can only speak from a man's point of view. Do you think that men are more likely to stay put in the relationship if they are married?
The answer is absolutely. It depends on the wealth. It depends on specific things. It also, a
Yeah.
lot of men want to stay in one thing and they won't want to get out of it because of the coziness. Especially the older you get, the more you want that woman to take care of you if you have that mindset. And you want somebody to take
Well,
care of you. Go ahead.
we are natural caretakers.
Right.
I know that whenever I was involved with a marriage partner or a fiance or somebody who was very close to me, if he got sick, if he got into trouble or whatever, I was the caretaker. He came to me asking me to be the person, the rock on whom he depended. And I did the same with him because there is something about an interdependency and an interaction because even while we were doing my reel, we were just doing a reel for promotion purposes. And even when we were doing that, you and I had this conversation. Well, what do you think of this? Should we leave that out? No, that's the money shot. That's this. Now imagine if I was just talking to myself. No, I think this.
Yeah.
I don't have an outside view, but this is what a marriage brings, or a relationship, a really good
Hmm.
partnership brings. You have somebody with whom to discuss what you think is okay until you hear the other person's point of view. And that's very valuable. And if you have an open mind, you will be open to hearing, listening, and perhaps even following the advice that somebody else's eyes can see that
Right.
you can't, because we're all into groupthink. We are all into, I can see what I can see, and that's all that counts. And that's malarkey.
Yeah.
You
It so is. I think that you look at this for a woman to maybe okay, I can now have a marriage I can really want to remember, especially if I was divorced. Go through the ring thing, go through having another celebration, go through that belief system. I guess I really think that marriage is still very built upon a commitment that cannot be broken. That's all the hope everyone has.
That
And,
I think you're right. I think, well, first of all, we know statistically that men value relationships even more than women do. See, for the people who think, oh, women are the relationship people, yes, we are. We are into relationships. However, men are more dependent on their relationships. And I do believe that when a man figures he's got it nice and cozy at home, that's when he goes out and cheats if he's not too happy with certain things. That's when he's stupid enough to go out and cheat on this woman because he just assumes she's going to be there. How many times I have said to a man, what would you say if your wife did exactly what you're doing? And every single man has come back and said to me, oh, she'd never do that. Well, don't be so sure. First of all, every single woman knows when you are straying. She may not know with whom, but she knows that you do not have 100% attention on her and on the relationship. She knows. I have spoken to some women who have said, well, I know he cheated and I know he continues to cheat, but I enjoy the lifestyle. I want to continue being married, like marriage is the goal. So different people have different ideas about what is important. Frankly, I couldn't go with somebody without that respect part in a relationship. Without
and it would be interesting to talk to younger women and men and hear what their whole process is. And we know it's a very, very interesting
it's
thought
different.
process. It is different in so many ways. And if marriage is, then there's not going to be children. And then you're going to have a lot of the population decrease tremendously. So we're just going to
Well,
have to find all that out. But go ahead.
well, now that Usha is pregnant, now I heard people from the left say, oh, well, that's a whole conservative attitude about having babies. That's just reserved for the right. That's not the left.
See, the mistake we're
That's,
making is we're going to
that's
continue
crazy.
divide people for all this because it is going, and the winner always is the media. They are
Oh,
always
yeah.
win because they want controversy, they want chaos, they want everything to be flipped upside down,
They thrive on it.
and they thrive on it because it's the only way to sell. Because you're going to keep people attention saying, thank gosh, it's not me that's going through this. And
Well,
especially living through these soap operas.
well, Vanna White, 68 years old, almost 70 years old, and she and her beau decided to tie the knot. Congratulations, Vanna. Lots of good luck to you and your spouse, and may you have a tremendous, many, many years of success and love between you.
All right. That was a special simulcode at drgilda.com. And that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Gildagram podcast, guys. Take care.